And welcome back, Mike Covert, Chuck Zapek. It's the Mike Reichenbach Chevrolet recap. Well, Chuck, tell you what, the crowd has started to subside. It was good for 2 or 3 hours. 27-6, Hilton Head Prep wins the game. Not really unexpected. But all in all, it was a pretty decent game.
Oh, it was too, and it was close. As we talked about before, the difficulties that Thomas Hayward had in scoring inside the red zone was the difference. Each team scored on the opening drive, made it 7-6, and then Hilton Head Prep was able to convert the next 2 times, and Hayward couldn't, although they got inside the 20. So that was the difference. No turnovers in the first half, and I think Prep just wore them down. A little bigger roster, a little bigger players, a little faster. They got to the outside, made a couple of big plays. All of a sudden, you think it's a close game, and it's not. And that's exactly what happened.
And that's, if you looked at the box score tomorrow morning, one may say, wow, that was, lopsided. But it really felt closer than 27-6. It looked closer. But you hit it. They just wore them down, and they have more people to wear them down with.
Well, they certainly did. It's a bigger roster when you play these smaller roster schools. The difference in play really shows up in the special teams than it did tonight. But you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Wald. He had his team ready. Tyler Fox played a great game. I nicknamed him Mr. Reliable because he makes all the right decisions. When he didn't have a receiver open, he was able to pull the ball down and run for first downs, and he didn't throw any interceptions. And so he's Mr. Reliable. And then certainly Noah Suick having a great night with 2 running touchdowns. So I think it was a great effort. Coach Wald had his team ready, prepared. They executed properly, and that's the reason why they're getting out of here 27-6. This is a game they lost last year.
That's right.
They lost this, and Thomas Hayward had a better team. They had 19 more players than they did this year, right. And they made it to the first round of the playoffs before they lost in a shootout. But this year, not so. This is the 5th game in a row they lost, but Hilton Head Prep came back a little vengeance in their eye because they got defeated last year by Hayward at home. Now they returned the favor by coming here to Harvey Beach Stadium and beating the Rebels.
And I think it's safe to say, especially with the play, everybody, but that number 1 quarterback. Young man's a freshman for Thomas Hayward. He'll be here. Yeah. So look, they're not going anywhere except up. Now, let's look about next week. We're going to be at Eagle Field, Beaufort High School, going to be hosting the Hilton Head Seahawks. B.J. Payne bringing his boys. This is big boy football. Mark Clifford and his big boys. This is going to be, they're getting down and dirty. In the big
the game
4A.
gets down to how well they'll be able to contain the running back Tukes for Beaufort. So if Bluffton can come in and put together and make some stops on Tukes, then that'll get them into the ball game. Bluffton is struggling a little bit defensively. Their offense has always been great, so the ability for them to stop Tukes and Beaufort, I think, is the key to that game next week.
I think that Mark Clifford and the Eagles, as well as B.J. Payne and the Seahawks, both of those guys are going to have their teams up and keyed up for this. It should be a good one. Look forward to seeing you there.
You too, Mike.
All right, that's it for Chuck Zapek. I'm Mike Covert, all the crew from WHHI coming to you from Thomas Hayward Academy tonight. Once again, Hilton Head Prep and the Dolphins take home the Independent Bowl Trophy, 27-6 over Thomas Hayward Academy. We'll see you next week right here on WHHI Sports TV.